Good morning, friends. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Myself, Professor Parag Savsani from Dr. Subhash Technical Campus. Today, we will discussing about the fundamentals of remote sensing. There have been several topics covered under this chapter, which covers the various aspects of remote sensing, processing, and the data interpretation techniques, and the different types of remote sensing has been carried out in the field of data mapping and the geographical information system. Now, first questions are arising in mind that what types of topics are covered in this module is that uh, in that our first session we will discuss about the definition, principle, history and Indian remote sensing, types of remote sensing, different types of remote sensing platform, and the remote sensing systems like ideal, real, optimal, thermal or microwave. We also know about the electromagnetic energy, electromagnetic spectrum, electromagnetic radiation, effect of atmosphere on the electromagnetic radiation, and the scattering of energy of electromagnetic radiation when we are imparting the sum of the energy onto the object. Now, next topic is for energy interaction. How the object matters are interact with the energy that can impart on it. After the that topics, we are studying about the image resolution in remote sensing. Like how can we improve the resolutions of our image in the remote sensing. After that, we are studying about the application of remote sensing, advantage and disadvantage of remote sensing. Now, first we are starting from remote sensing. What is the remote sensing? Now, the remote sensing is a science and art of obtaining information about object, area, or phenomena through the analysis of data acquired by the device that is in not in contact. Like without touching the any object, we can getting the data and characteristic. We can know about the characteristic and the phenomena of this object is called remote sensing. That definition is generally given by the Leisland and Keeper in 2000. Remote sensing generally is a science of obtaining and interpreting the information from distance using sensors. When we are seeing the all the object by our eyes, but some of the objects we can't see with the our open eyes. We have to use some of the devices for measuring some of the characteristic of object. We cannot understand about the temperature of object by our eyes, so we have to use the different techniques to identify it without touching them or without interfering with them by using the some of the device. If you want to know about the how much amount of energy released from that particular surface, we have to use some of type of sensors and different types of techniques that we can study in this chapter. Now, what is the principles of remote sensing? Everything having some principles. In that sense of remote sensing system, there have been one of that principles. Now, there have been different types of component of remote sensing system. First is the target. Target means which object we have to analyze. After that, energy source. Energy source is a main component in remote sensing, because if you want to apart the sum of the energy and we can get the reflected energy from that object and we can analyze that reflected energy data. After that, we can conclude that what are the object characteristic. Next thing is the transmission path. If the transmission path is clear, so the correlation of error is less. Next thing is the sensor. Sensor is a very important component of remote sensing. If the sensor accuracy is higher, our characteristic analyzing data is also may become a higher. Now, some of the in the energy sources, we are illuminates or provide the electromagnetic energy to target. Electromagnetic energy may have many forms. There have been different types of wavelength, different types of energy spectrum, different phenomena between the electronic and magnetic radiation system. So, as per the sensor, it is a remote device that will collect and record the EM radiation. It is called electromagnetic radiation. Sensor can be used to measure the energy. Right? Can be used to measure the energy emitted by the object or the target. Generally, after getting the set of data, we can analyze the types of energy radiation bands and we can conclude that what type of radiations are coming from that type of object, and we can conclude how much type of object characteristic has been present. We also use that for that type of interpretation software. Software is one of the most essential tool in remote sensing because all the data are very consecutive and very eliminating in nature. Now first see the process of remote sensing through this animation. After we can start the actual process of remote sensing. See in the picture is that some of the light source is emit the radiation on the object and object is reflected some amount of radiation in the atmosphere, and that reflection is captured by the recording EMG radiation. After that data is sent to the data transfer, and after using the some of the software we can see what are the land area and what are the tree and vegetative areas. Okay, now you have seen in the picture all the process by the animation. Next we are moving to the our actual phenomena of remote sensing. There have been two types of remote sensing. We are also studied about this type of remote sensing like active and passive. Both are the some of the difference with respect to its source of energy. All the processes are same, but their source of energy are different. Now, there have been two types of remote sensing. One of that active remote sensing and passive remote sensing. And second thing is the atmosphere, target, recording device, transmission, reception, and processing, interpretation, and application. That are the different phases of remote sensing. In which the passive remote sensing, the sun is considered as a light emitting source or the electromagnetic energy imparting source. In the active remote sensing, the some of the energy are imparted by the other source of energy and that can be captured by the receiver. Now, generally different types of forms of remote sensing energies has been we can classify this type of remote sensing based on their source of energy. Generally, there have been also the different types of techniques used for the different purpose. Generally, medical imaging technologies, right? Medical imaging technologies is one type of remote sensing. We are known about the MRI, magnetic resonance imaging, in which the strong magnetic field are used for analyzing of our body parts. Next is the sonogram. We are known as a sonography, right? In that the sonar waves are traveled through our body and reflected waves are captured by their receiver. and some of the imagings are created by the sonogram. Next thing is X-ray imaging. In this type of imaging, X-rays are used. We can use that type of technology for bone inspections, right? That can not interact with the bone, but that types of ray are absorbed by the calcium or any other metal elements. So we can see in the remaining portion blank, and our object portion is white. So that type of radiations are used for X-ray imagings. This type of technology use forms of energy to produce the image of inside of human body. So that is the very useful technology, because we cannot see our internal organs of human body, and we cannot open our body for viewing or inspecting that our organs. So that technology is very useful for that medical imaging technologies. Now, generally, the remote sensing is not limited to investigation of our planet. Most forms of astronomy are the example of remote sensing, since the target under investigations are such vast distance from the Earth. Astronomers collect and analyze the energy given off by this object in space by using the telescope and other sensing devices. This information is recorded and used to draw the conclusion about space in our universe. Now the other example is that ocean and atmospheric object observations. We want to know about the ocean temperature and their wave height and different characteristic of ocean like metal accumulation. So we have to use remote sensing. We cannot measure the ocean characteristic by testing their water data of all phenomena. Magnetic resonance imaging, positron emission tomography, PET, PET scan. We are knowing about the PET scan. Space probes. Now we are moving to the history of remote sensing. Generally, the remote sensing is start with the invention of camera, because camera is a one type of camera imaging is the one type of remote sensing process. We are starting our remote sensing process before the 150 years. The idea and practice looking down the Earth's surface emerged in the 1840s cameras secured to tethered balloon. Generally, that type of camera are loaded with the balloon, and some of the imaging pictures are captured by this type of camera, because at that time the camera size become a too larger. So that type of larger balloon is required for to upload that devices. Next is the another example of remote sensing in the history. The smaller cameras are fitted with the pigeon bag, and the trained pigeons are moving on the particular path, and the pictures are captured. Generally, in the First World War, cameras are mounted on airplanes are used to provide image of large surface areas. Now in the 1960s and the 1970s, the primary platform changed to satellite. Generally, as previously, we are using the smaller device and the available resources for capturing the images. But when we are inventing the satellites, we are using that camera on the satellites, and they cover the larger areas. Now, after that, the high accuracy sensor is available to record the Earth's surface. So we are using the types of different bands that we cannot see by our human's eye. We are seen in the two infrared images. Generally, that type of image is taken with a standard lens. In that, we cannot see the total temperature losses or the total spark generated at that point. But in the figure number 4, we are seeing that there have been some of the spark is generated. That is the telephoto lens. So, image is taken with telephoto lens with 2x magnification, but it is narrower to FOV but not actually seen, right? That can be give the not particular idea about the what type of energy is released from that source. So if you want to find out that loose connection problem in electricals, so we can use also that thermal imaging techniques. Generally in India, the remote sensing is start in 1960s. Our first Indian satellite Aryabhat was launched at 19th April 1975 in Leo by USSR rocket. And after that, we are also launched the Bhaskar 1 and 2. They carrying two TV cameras. There, at that time, the advanced camera techniques has been not present. So we are attached that our TV camera with that satellite. After that, Rohini series is the experimental series for that remote sensing techniques. Now IRS-1A we can launch at 17th March 1988 and their orbital height is 904 km. IRS-1B at 29th August 1991 and generally both carrying LISS-1A and LISS-2A and 2B. Their resolution is 72.5 meter and 36.25 meter. So that is their maximum resolution capacity. After that, we are launching the IRS-1C and IRS-1D at 1995 and 1997. Now, India also having some ground control stations. Generally, our satellite ground control station is located at Bangalore for tracking and monitoring of satellite and their data interpretation. National Remote Sensing Center are also located at Hyderabad, Balanagar and Sadnagar to process the data. Generally, there types of different remote sensing form also used by the different agencies. So now our country have a capability to watch the all enemy territories and all the boundaries related to our economical and securitical aspects. Now, generally, one of the physics related to remote sensing. Now, physics of remote sensing. Generally, various forms of collect data. Generally, we are collecting the various forms of data. We cannot collect only the image of that type of phenomena. We are collecting the various forms of data. Acoustic wave distribution, it is called the ion based. Generally, acoustic wave distribution is based on ion based, like a scattering wavelength. Next thing is the force distribution. It is called force based. So the movement of object and radiations are moved from one point to another points. Next thing is the electromagnetic energy, like a wavelength based. That can be three types of data that can be collected in the remote sensing. Now the third type, electromagnetic energy, wavelength based, are collected and most essential, useful in the field of our civil engineering. Now, type of remote sensing sensor system. How can the remote sensing system has been used? First is the active and second one is the passive. As I previously discussed that in the passive system, the source of energy is used as a sunlight. And in the active system, different types of wavelengths are imparted on object and returned pulses are recorded by the sensor. Now we are discussing about the passive system. Generally, sun provides a very convenient source of remote source of energy for remote sensing. Because if you have to provide cover the large area, then the energy imparted by the device is very difficult. So the sun is very helpful in our remote sensing procedures. The sun energy is either reflected or observed and then re-emitted. So, due to that type of phenomena, our Earth's temperature become a constant. Remote sensing system which measures energy that naturally available. It is called passive sensors. Generally, passive sensors are used for detecting the passive energy, like sun's light. And passive sensors can only be used to detect the energy when naturally occurring energy is available. It should not be used when we have used that type of active types of energy source. That can be only used when we have available the our natural source of energy like a sun. For all reflected energy, this can only take place during the time when sun is illuminating the earth. So there have been some limitations of passive remote sensing when the sun is not available on that portion of earth. So we cannot use that type of remote sensing. There is no reflected energy available from the sun at night. So that is the one type of limitation. So we have to use that technique only at a daytime. And another portion of energy that can be stored and remitted during the night time we can use for as a source of energy like a self-made source. It is called our lighting system, volcano eruption, or the infrared wavelength energy, and we can use we can capture this type of energy by using the thermal infrared imaging cameras. Next is the active system. In the active system, the sensor emits the radiation which is direct towards the target to be investigated. If you want to know about the one of the celestial body characteristic, so we are using that type of system. The radiation reflected from the target is detected and measured by the sensor. Now, the advantage is that the ability to obtain measurement anytime regardless of the time of day or season. It requires the generation of fairly large amount of energy to adequately illuminate the targets. So the laser fluorosensor and the synthetic aperture radar is used in the active remote sensing system. Generally, the remote sensing platform. Generally, remote sensing platforms are classified based on the elevation from the Earth's surface at which these platforms are placed. First is the ground level remote sensing. Ground level remote sensors are very close to the ground. They are basically used to develop and calibrate sensors for different features on the Earth's surface. If we want to analyze our satellite data, we want to know about how much the object characteristic and what are the object that should create that type of wavelength at the reflection places. So first we have to calibrate that sensor. After we can analyze all the things. Aerial remote sensing. Generally, that type of remote sensing is used for the map preparation and the aerial mapping procedures like low altitude aerial remote sensing and high altitude aerial remote sensing. After that, space-borne remote sensing. It is used for the space shuttle, polar orbiting satellites and geostationary satellites. From each of platform, remote sensing can be done either in passive or active modes. There have been different platforms for the remote sensing. Now, see in the images that are the different forms of remote sensing. One person is held the camera on hand and target the one object and getting the characteristic of that object based on that wavelength data format. Now we can utilize that particular data acquisition for that our larger scale map work. Next is we are using the balloon. After that aerial remote sensing, we can use also helicopters and aeroplane for medium altitude. For higher altitude, we can use our drones and UAV. In this space-borne remote sensing, we also use the satellites. Now, what is the ideal remote sensing system? If you want to get the greater accuracy in our remote sensing system, so we have to follow the ideal remote sensing system. The basic component of ideal remote sensing system generally uniform energy system sources and non-interfering atmosphere. So in practical cases that is not possible, But if you getting that type of situation, so we can get accurate data acquisition from that object. In the uniform energy source, it have a characteristic that it provides the energy or wavelength at a constant, known high level of output. In the non-interfering atmosphere, which will not modify either the energy transmitted from the source or emitted from the object in any manner. Generally, third component that should develop the ideal remote sensing system is that a series of unique energy matter interaction at a Earth surface, which generate, reflect and emitted signals that are selective with respect to wavelength and also unique to each object of Earth surface feature type. Now, there have been uniform energy source, there have been uniform energy of wavelength, super sensors are collecting the data, and there have been a real-time instantaneous data handling system, so we can get the all the data interpretation at a time to time. Next is the super sensor. Generally, super sensor is highly sensitive to all wavelength. Our human eye is not highly sensitive to all wavelength because we are seeing only the visible spectrum of light. We cannot see the infrared, right? We cannot see the ultraviolet rays, X-rays. We can only see the visible wavelength. So the upper super sensor would be a simple, reliable, accurate, economical, and requires no power or space. These sensors yield data about absolute brightness or radiance. Generally, it should be depend on the functions of wavelength. Real-time handling system. We also require the proper real-time handling system. Sometimes it may become a happen that many time we cannot available all the data processing equipment, so we have to get the more and more time for processing. Some devices giving the data to time, but if you not process that data, that usability may become a lost. Multiple data. So user having a knowledge in their respective discipline and also remote sensing data acquisition and analysis techniques, the information collected will be available to them faster and less expense. This is information will aid the user in various decision making process and also further in implementing his decisions. Generally, the remote sensing system follow the some types of operations for carried out and compared the idea system explain. Energy source. The energy source for real system are usually non-uniform over the various wavelength and also vary with the time and space. We are knowing that we are seeing in the different atmospheric conditions, we are seeing that no objects are properly not seen by our eyes. It's the same case with respect to temperature, the source of energy and their wavelength are changed and that should be dependent on the medium of their traveling. The atmosphere. The atmosphere generally interact with the energy and their spectral distributions are changed. So that is very difficult when we are using that type of situations. The energy matter interaction at a Earth's surface. The energy matters interaction at the Earth's surface. The remote sensing is generally based on the principle that each and every material reflects or emits energy in a unique. We can know about that there have been different types of energy wavelength has been emitted by the objects. So we have to prepare the histogram and analyze the types of data. Next is the sensor. Generally, real sensors have a fixed limit of spectral sensitivity. They are not sensible to all wavelengths. And also they have some limited spatial resolutions. In that type of sensor, The spatial resolution is a very important factor with respect to the our data collection characteristic. Now next is the data handling system. The human intervention is necessary for processing sensor data, even though the machines are also included in data handling. So we have to make the idea of real-time data handling almost impossible because the amount of data generated by sensor far exceeds the data handling capacity because that data size become a more. So we have to use that type of data handling technique so we can utilize that data that can be given from the sensor. The multiple data user. The success of any remote sensing missions lies on the user who ultimately transforms data into information. If you want convert that type of data into our useful information, that is the worthless. So we have to use that data information for our required purpose. So data interpreter are also play the important role at a stage of interpretation. Thank you. I hope you are enjoying this lecture and you are understanding the basics of remote sensing. In that next session, we are discussing about the different types of wavelength and electromagnetic energy reflection from that different bodies. Thank you.